Hello, the doc is in, and welcome back to another chapter of One Piece, chapter 1059, the Captain Kobe incident. Honestly, let's just hop in this chapter. I know usually I do the recap or whatever. We're like, oh, what happened last chapter? Honestly, not important. All right, this chapter is a banger. Let's just drop right into this. All right. So the chapter starts off. We get to see Marco on Shanks' ship, and basically having a little conversation. You know, they're joking around a little bit. We have Shanks and probably the crew as well being like, oh, you know, you should join our crew, Marco. And Marco's like, you guys are crazy. One, what do I look like? Two, I'm old, you know, whatever. I can't be taking care of you youngsters anymore. Everybody's laughing. It's all good. And so they drop him off at Sphinx Island and he flies on back there. We then go into a flashback, and this flashback's actually really good because coming off the last chapter, people were kind of annoyed with the way it kind of went with the whole situation with Yamato not joining the crew and kind of feeling like it was a cop-out and her reasoning being kind of like dumb. So this conversation that we get basically is her kind of like, well, him, her, whatever. Point is, Yamato, Odin, etc., they are talking to Luffy, and basically she's like, look, coming off that fight with that Ryokyu guy, Green Bull, if you will, I don't think it's in the country's best interest for me to leave, because if I leave, then, you know, things might get a little wiggity, all right? So I gotta stay. And everybody's like, oh no, you're not gonna come with us, whatever. And Luffy's kind of like, you know, I wanted you to come. But Yamato's kind of like, look, if we both go, we're all gonna be worried about Wano when we leave. If I stay, at least you, while you guys are still out, can enjoy your adventures worry-free from, you know, being like, you know, what if something's happening on Wano? Is Momo okay? Can the 9 scabbards, though I don't think it's 9 anymore, can the scabbards take care of the issue on their own, etc., etc.? And Wano's a pretty valued place, seeing as the Marines even tried to invade, or at least were thinking about it. So with that being considered, Yamato decides to stay. Luffy agrees with their reasoning, and we leave from that. We also, in the flashback, get to see Marco kind of be like, oh, you know, I was going to catch the ride with you guys, but there's another ship nearby, which he's purposely specified. He doesn't mention that Shanks' ship. He's just like, oh, there's a ship heading where I'm going, so I'm going to just catch a ride with them. But we get a little conversation between Marco and Luffy. He's kind of thanking him for helping him in the war and everything, and whatnot, just niceties. And then Marco is off. And then we get into the very fun part of this chapter. So, first off, we get to see Amazon Lily. Everybody remembers Amazon Lily. Cool. And I'm looking at the place. I'm like, it looks a little different than usual. Like, some of it seems missing. And we do get an explanation for that in this chapter. So, right, they're talking, and Hancock's kind of talking about, like, you know, the Navy's going to keep invading if I'm here. And so she ends up being like, I guess the only thing I can do is marry Luffy. And of course, you know, it's played as a guy who's like, oh, you know, why is your response to the situation in most situations to be, oh, I just need to get married to Luffy right away? It's like, though technically in this circumstance, you know, that put the island under his jurisdiction, which may cause other pirates and Marines to avoid the island knowing that he'll show up. But point is, it's a guy. And then we get into flashback a couple weeks prior. So the Navy show up, all right? We knew that Kobe, along with other Marines, had every warlord was getting a fleet coming to their island. And so, of course, people are coming to Amazon Lily. They're attacking, whatever. We got this Vice Admiral Yamakaji, all right? He's being a little bit of perv, all right? He got that simp face on. He's like, I want to see Hancock. It's like, relax, all right? We're at war. Chill. But we see the Kuja pirates, right? And they're like, dang, I can't fight a child. And they're like, this child's kind of strong though. I'm like, okay. And we get a little bit of silhouette of the child, right? Now, I'm gonna just put these characteristics out there, and we're just gonna leave them as they are. So, right, look at the characteristics. Another character is gonna mention the characteristics, right? So we don't get to see what they like look like, but from the back, while they're shooting a laser from their hands, mind you, interesting detail, we have wings with fire in the back. We don't know what color the wings are or anything like that, but there's fire in the back. I know only one character who has fire on their back consistently and wings. But let's not start theorizing in the review section. Oh, in the kind of breakdown section, right? So let's move on. So right, the Navy is attacking, and then from their rear, we see a ship that looks like it's made of wood. That's not in ship shape, if you get what I'm saying. All right, it sounds a little bit of tongue twister there, right? And there's only one ship that we know of. Well, not one ship, but only one crew that has ships like these. A certain Blackbeard. All right, we get hit with the sea quake, and we get the Blackbeard reveal. All this time waiting for the legendary Blackbeard to make his move. He was talking about this move a long time ago, and we finally get to see it. He's pulling up on Amazon Lily, and he's coming wreck. We got Davon and Vasco shot with him. All right, they're here, and basically we got Katarina being like, yeah, I'm gonna cut off her face, and you got Vasco also being a perv. I can't, but basically they're here to steal her powers, right? And of course, you know, the Navy, they're like, a Yonko, this is not what we signed up for, all right? So the Navy guy, he's like, oh, we're just gonna pull back, guys. We're gonna pull back. We're gonna wait for a word from HQ to do something. I'm like, he's a pirate. Why y'all acting scared for? Either throw hands or leave. And so Blackbeard's pulling up. All right, he's knocking people out with the quick boot, whatever. And we have him kind of calling out Bohanka. He's like, get down here so I can steal your fruit. And so Kobe's like, yeah, this shit's getting out of hand. This shit's getting a little greasy out here. So he's like, Hancock, please just surrender yourself and we will leave the island. All right, come with the Navy, should be fine, I swear. And we got Sandra Soria and Marigold basically being like, yeah, the hero, quote unquote, is acting really conceited, talking about some you should surrender. And Hancock, of course, as confident as ever, is like, fuck your little peace treaty, I surrender, y'all leave shit. I'm gonna just take the W and you guys are gonna get the fuck off my island. All right. And so she's about to step out. Then we cut back to Blackbeard, right? And his crew, they're getting blown up and they're talking about, and then he turns around, he's like, what are these niggas calling me for? And he's like, white hair, brown skin, black wings. And we get to see another child looking thingy with presumably black wings, fire on the back, hair, and a big old sword. Looks kind of familiar. Again, let's not get into theorizing here. And so he's looking at it, he's like, what is that? And then he says PX, and so on its chest it looks like it's a little cropped in the panel, but the implication is that it says PX on the chest, which means it's a pacifista. Even more interesting, could explain the laser hands. And then the guy who swings the child who swings his sword, the pacifista, then cuts the giant mountain. Yes, that giant mountain with the snake heads. Yes, he just cuts it, like he just cuts off a third of it, and casually. And then he pulls up on Blackbeard. He starts swinging on Blackbeard, and we get to see Blackbeard does have armament hockey. He blocks a hit with his arm, and he then activates Black Hole, all right, to, I guess, counter. And by this point, we cut back to Hancock, and she's turning everybody into stone. Slave Arrow, everybody's getting caught. Vice Admiral gets caught because he's a perv. Helmeppo, I mean, you hate to see it to the mans, but yeah, he's stoned now. And so Kobe, after seeing everybody get turned to stone, he's like, chill, because obviously he's a robot, so they're just like, fuck it, y'all said kill the pirates, so that's what I'm about to do. And so Kobe's like, hey, you need to chill out, because everybody's stoned now. If you keep doing all this crazy shit, you're gonna kill everybody. And so Kobe's trying to mediate. Hancock's on the aggressive, and so is Blackbeard, and we kind of cut whatever fight that may have went down. But it seems like Blackbeard's the captains, they get caught, all right, and they get turned into stone. But despite this, Blackbeard somehow misses it, and he catches Hancock. Obviously, with the Yami Yami no Mi, he grabs her. Now she can't use her fruit. We also get bounty reveals. Pirate Empress, 1.659 billion. Blackbeard. All right, people were talking about, oh, Blackbeard's bounty's kind of low now that everybody's getting pushed up a lot. Well, turns out he wasn't really that low. After all, almost 4 billion berry bounty. You say, ha ha ha, Blackbeard has been on the move. And so at this point, Blackbeard's like, seems like you caught us, but I'm gonna need that power from you. And Hancock's like, look, first off, you're ugly, so it's not even gonna work in your hands anyway. Second off, everybody's turning to stone. If I don't release them, y'all fucked. So that's why I caught all your mans. You guys gonna have to listen to my demands now. I got hostages. And so Kobe's there, Blackbeard's there, Hancock's there. Hancock can't fight. Blackbeard's kind of in the position of power here. He can kind of is in the position to make all the demands, but he also has hostages on his side. He will take losses if he kills Hancock, really. So we get a little interesting conversation here. We have Blackbeard talking to Kobe, and he says like, oh, the Rocky Port incident, I thank you because you're the one who helped me get the pirate island, and apparently had to beat somebody else for ownership of it. Who it is, I'm not quite sure. They say to oust Ochoku. I don't know who that is, and I also assume that might be a Japanese word, which is why I don't understand it, but nonetheless, right? And so as the conversation is going, Kobe's kind of like, hey, look, we need to release these people from stone, all right? I don't want everybody to die here, all right? You should let her go so she can release everybody. And she's under the pretense of like, hey, I'll release everybody if y'all get out. And so Blackbeard's like, look, all right, as a pirate, I know niggas lie. So I'm not going to lie to you. I don't believe you. I feel like as soon as I let you go, you're going to turn us into stone. I'm not vibing with that option. So you know what? I will take the L of my crewmates dying in exchange for you holding the largest L of death. And so Kobe's like, chill. And as the negotiations seem to be coming to a boiling point, Rayleigh pulls up, Dark King, and he's basically like, you know what? I know you're like an apprentice of Whitebeards or whatever, but I kind of dislike you. And Kobe loses his mind. Hancock is like, thank God. And of course, Rayleigh's there. He's like, hey, look, all right, I'm mediating. All right, I'm on Hancock's side here. So how about this? She will release everybody, and everybody else will leave, and everybody's gonna keep it chill, okay? And so we go back to from a couple weeks from then, and basically it seems like everything went fine in terms of negotiations. He was able to get everybody to leave. Blackbeard didn't want any smoke. All right, he was sweating extra hard when Dark King showed up, and so he just let it be and left. And so we also get a reveal. Shocky apparently was the ex-captain of Guja Pirates. Not a clue, but I don't know if that gets rid of certain people's theories, but whatever. And so everybody's talking, and they're like, Vegapunk's really putting in work for the Marines. All right, the Marines are, the comm belt's not even safe now. You got these new PXs or whatever. Shit's getting a little bit wiggity in the One Piece world. And Rayleigh he admits as they're talking, because he's at the pirate island at the moment. Not pirate island, but he's at the Amazon Lily at the moment. He's kind of like, it's a good thing Blackbeard didn't want to throw hands, and he's a little bitch, because honestly, if he would throw hands, there's a good chance I would have lost. So we're gonna have to figure out another option, because he comes back feeling a little bit more confident, I don't think I'm gonna be able to save you. And so as they're talking, they're like, everybody's gonna be trying to get to the warlords, whatever. Now they're not Marine ownership, whatever. And we have Marigold and San Antonio. They're talking about the Pacifista, and they're like, those things, throughout the entire war, no scratches. Not only that, but don't you think it's a little weird that they kind of looked like a certain Hancock, but when they were younger, but also black with white hair and black wings with fire on the back and star eyes. This is an important detail. I have star eyes, but they're robots, so that's not too weird. And then as we're going, the end of the chapter comes up. All right, mad hype, and we end the chapter with a cliffhanger of all cliffhangers. So Kobe, all right, hero of the Marines, well, new hero of the Marines, hero of the Rocky Port incident, whatever. Well, a certain Blackbeard, he wasn't leaving with nothing. All right, he came from around the way. He was leaving with something, and apparently left with Kobe. He just kidnapped him, and Kobe's gone. And that's the end of the chapter. No break. Like I said, chapter filled to the brim with shit, and good shit at that. All right, coming off the last chapter, people were a little salty. People were like, Wano didn't really hit that hard. And then, the Yamato stuff and everything. People were like, I don't know. People had mixed feelings. Coming off this chapter, having a little hand on the pulse and everything, as the Doctor should. I'm gonna just keep it honest. People are loving the chapter. All right, people are vibing. A Blackbeard appearance, that shit's vibes. Amazon Lily / Marines attacking people update, shit's wild. A what was Vegapunk working on situation, what's replacing the Warlord system update, oh, shit is fire. Alright, so going out this chapter, there are two main things that are interesting. Really one main thing, but there's a couple main things. One, pacifistas. Alright, so clearly they're made off Lunarian DNA. Alright, Vegapunk's been working on this in the workshop for forever, and apparently he was able to make pacifistas. But it also seems like to create these pacifistas, he's also working off the DNA of not only Lunarians, but other strong pirates, well, currently strong pirates, or other, I guess, strong DNA of people who were imprisoned, or I guess they had access to in the Marines, or just the world government, whatever. Because they have, it seems, pacifista versions of Hancock, and it has been theorized based on the shape of the sword that a certain sword-wielding child with white hair and black face, that sounds a little racial, pacifista may be modeled after a certain Mihawk, greatest swordsman in the world. Apparently Mihawk has a child, a surrogate child, didn't know that. And so yeah, it seems like these guys are fucking insane. I mean, again, for a child-sized being, I cut a fucking mountain in half, well, in a third, and pressing an emperor. All right, of course Blackbeard's able to counter, but again, pressing an emperor is not a feat you just do because you felt like it. You gotta have some shit going on. So so that's one thing. Yeah, Blackbeard, this is what he was trying to make a move on. It seems like in the end he kind of leaves with Kobe, which there's a lot of implications there. Why would he take Kobe? What is his plan to do with Kobe? Is he gonna try to extort the Marines? Gonna be like, give me some fruits, whatever. I'm not quite sure. We also don't know what's going on with Hancock. Like, what is she gonna do? Is she gonna leave the pirate island to avoid they getting attacked more? I mean, like I said, this chapter is filled to the brim with stuff. And to kind of end off the discussion here, I gotta talk about something. Shocky is the previous captain of the cruise ship pirates. Interesting. And it's been a long time running theory that, oh, well, Shocky was a part of a pirate crew. Maybe she was a part of the Rock's crew. This, people would think, could be kind of evidence to disprove that idea, but a little bit of cope. But she could have just, if she was a powerful pirate, the Rock's pirate recruited specifically powerful pirates, she could be an ex-captain because she was claimed through the whatever Rox did. He claimed her to be a part of the crew. Simple. It's really just that straightforward. And so I think we can end the chapter discussion off there. Like I said, great chapter. May come out with another discussion video about this, hopefully. And yeah, with that being said, leave a like if you like, leave a dislike if you dislike, comment. What do you think of the chapter? What do you think of everything? Is there anything that you think I missed in the discussion portion? What other things do you think are interesting? What do you think of Blackbeard? Do you think he's making more moves? Is he going to extort the Marines? Is Hancock going to marry Luffy? Is Luffy going to say yes, or is he going to be mad confused? Comment all those things. And if you like videos like these, feel free to subscribe, ring the notification bell to see more videos like these every time a new chapter comes out. Maybe not necessarily for One Piece, but every time there's a big chapter, oh, trust and believe, I'm gonna be there. With that all being said, thank you for watching the video all the way through, and the doc is out. Peace.